UGP.
Yeah. Okay, once more. UGP.
Fucking. So what are we talking about today, Cole?
Alright. Today we're doing a very special edition of the podcast where we're standing up, which you would probably be able to hear on the mic.
Yeah, we are standing to honor the fact that the characters in the game do not sit down.
Ever. Of all time. Like, the only person you see sitting down gets shot later on.
I'm pretty sure he does.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, the only guy who sits dies, which shows that we should be standing right now.
Yes, exactly. That is the point.
So what game is it, Cole?
Xcom, Enemy Unknown.
Enemy Within. Well, they're both the same.
Okay, you know
Enemy
what?
Enemy Within is the better version of it.
Yes, for those listening, if you don't know, Xcom is a reboot of an older strategy game series, which is still good, but just looks worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the same.
Yeah, that's like the gist of any reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what a reboot is just making
things look better.
I mean, yeah, like a Halo reboot for Halo 1.
Yeah, but they actually added campaign like information, like with the whole Guilty Spark stuff.
That's cool.
Anyways, that is another podcast, my friend. Another podcast.
All right, well,
okay.
It's the game's plot. It's a pretty straightforward plot.
Well, I would say that the only real big twist sort of comes at the end of the game.
I'd never beat it. I'd never beat the last level.
I forgot about that.
After that cancerous glitch,
about that.
I just could never... There's a glitch that happened, and I just... Set me back 2 hours, couldn't do it.
The problem I encountered with it is I was doing one of those terrorist missions, and it just got to the point where everyone but one of my people were dying every time I ran through the mission. I just could not accept that, even though I was playing on classic difficulty, so I just gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, first off, strategy game. Really big strategy game. It's a turn-based game.
Yeah, you cannot play without tactics. Unless
you play on easy. But, I mean, who plays that game on easy?
No, you have to be like a bitch to play on it.
Yeah. The whole point of the game is aliens on Earth. You gotta kill them.
You gotta get them off Earth.
Yeah, you gotta get them off Earth. So all the countries of Earth get together, and they just were like, "Hey, yo, XCOM project, commander."
Yeah, commander.
Yeah.
No one knows your first or last name.
I have all these friends, but none of them know my first name.
Mass Effect.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's pretty difficult to screw up that plot, and they didn't, so...
No, they didn't. And there was a fairly large twist at the end of the game. Like, the last 5 minutes of the game, you just learn a whole bunch of stuff, and you're like, oh, that's why all of this happens.
Well, I'll be Googling that later.
Alright, yeah. Do you want to talk about the base or the actual fighting? Like, for your part, which part do you want?
Fighting, I guess.
Okay, I'll start with the base. So, one half of the base is resource management and developing your base, and then the other half is fighting. Base structure and stuff is you gotta know what you're doing on the harder difficulties.
Yeah.
And it's very much a whole... Where do I allocate resources? Because if you ignore your air fleet, you're just going to get stuff. Oh, damn it.
You will die.
You're going to get screwed later on in the game. If you don't research into psionics before that becomes relevant, it's painful. However, Enemy Within, which is the one that I would highly recommend getting, which is for the full name XCOM, Enemy Within, it adds a whole bunch of new stuff like mechs and genetic modification, which is not in the original game. It makes it way easier and then at the same time way harder.
Yeah. Because there's more enemies, right?
Yeah, there's way more enemies.
I never played Enemy without...
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Or Enemy Unknown.
Yeah.
So, I don't really...
It has a cooler menu screen.
Because that's important.
Yes, that is very important.
That's pretty important.
That is very important.
Yeah, the coolest menu screen?
What?
I was hoping you'd know.
Cut. One of the problems that I did in the first game the first time I played through XCOM, as I just didn't do anything with my airplanes ever, and so then you get to those overseer ships, and then everyone starts getting mad at you because you're not killing the UFOs that are abducting people, which is another part of the game, global politics. If you don't make every single country in the world happy, they're gonna leave.
They're gonna get pissy.
Yeah, they're gonna get pissy and just leave and dump you.
Take their funding with them because clearly they know what to do with their money against aliens.
Of course. Yeah, it's like, I'm sure Russia could come up with a better plan than what I'm doing. Yeah.
Probably they could. I'm pretty sure if one country could, it would be Russia.
Okay, you know what? Fine, somewhere else. Like, what's another? South America.
I was going to say North Korea.
Argentina.
Madagascar. Nothing bad could ever happen to Madagascar.
Pandemic reference.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, maybe we'll do a little bit of that. So, on to combat.
All right, well, the combat, it's a turn-based strategy game, meaning you take a turn and move your characters into strategic positions or shoot. Pretty much it's just shooting or throw grenades.
Well, actually, there's more than you can do.
Or punch. That's true. You can do quite a few things. Basically, you get to do everything, and then you get to watch them do everything. It's like kind of like a game of chess, but just so much better in every way.
It's like super advanced chess, and I will say the worst part about that game is having to watch your people die.
Especially when you get attached to them. Like, because what happens is you can have a maximum of 70 soldiers, and since your main character is essentially a commander who's standing in front of like a computer telling the soldiers on the field what to do, some soldiers you get more attached to. Like, I had a girl sniper named Natalie DePortman, and just the greatest soldier ever. So like whenever she died, it was always like then you have to load back the whole mission because you can't take it.
Yeah. It's always the thin man killed cams. It's just like they're daintily holding their rifle. Like if you listeners have watched The Walking Dead, then you know how Rick holds his stupid revolver. That's how the thin men do it, except they have a pinky out as well.
Yeah, they're fancy Ricks.
Yes,
they're look like
alien Ricks.
Stupid and puke and they're horrible.
Okay, happy subject now. Mechs
are they're pretty overpowered. Mechs are pretty overpowered.
If you build them, they're not on hardcore.
Well, I mean, if they're the enemy's mechs, the freaking sectopods.
Yeah.
All right, so basically your mechs is an enemy within only, and you can do a variety of things to them. When you start off a base mech, you can either get a punching arm, which does...
It is amazing.
It does so much damage.
It is amazing.
But you get infinite punches, too, so you never run out of ammo for that. Or you can choose a flamethrower, which both are good. Punching arm is good against...
And one of the best things about the flamethrower is that it makes chrysalids panic and run away, which is...
Chrysalids are melee-only enemies that, after they kill your teammates in a horrendously irritating cutscene thing, they turn them into zombies and you have to fight them.
And then if you don't kill the zombie, it splits in half and a new chrysalid comes out.
Yeah.
It's aggravating to say the least.
Yeah. Plus then you gotta like the do I kill my buddy type thing? Which the answer is yes. But unless you can fix it.
Yes.
Like mind control. Which is another big part of the game. Mind control. Which is, you use psionics, which we talked for about 2 seconds earlier. Mm-hmm. Basically, if someone is gifted, that's in quotes, you go, let's put him in the psionic lab. And then after like 10 days, it's a long time. They're like, he's gifted, and then they get like neural shock or something like that. What's it called?
They get a ton of stuff.
Well, the starting one is called what? Mind Ray?
Mind Ray, yeah.
Yeah, he just goes like, and then like a purple beam goes out and hits an enemy for 5 damage. It's pretty good.
It also confuses them, and
that's true.
That's the most That's the best part about
And
it.
then eventually you can upgrade it to where they get a protective field around them on their enemies, which is very effective. Or mind control.
And then there's the black hole.
which you can't get except for the last level.
In the first game, you could get it. You could just get it as a perk.
Alright, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of just go, oh, I think there should be a black hole here, and the black hole happens, and
It's pretty ridiculous.
shit up. It really does. Like, that is the worst thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when enemies use it on you. Which brings us to the second portion of our podcast.
True.
Even though we've talked about practically none of the gameplay.
Yeah.
Which is alright. If you like strategy games, you'll like this
If
one.
you're good at chess, you should be moderately good at least at XCOM.
Yes. Very. Yeah.
Checkers, not so much.
Who plays checkers, though? Who plays checkers? I think my least favorite alien is it's a three-way tie between Berserker,
Oh, okay.
the Berserker, the Chrysalids, and then the Ethereals.
My least favorite is the Thin Man.
The Thin... Okay.
I hate them.
Yeah.
With a burning passion. They're not even that effective against you. They're just fucking
Poison. They poison you, and it's just annoying.
Well, on VIP missions, they just like have to poison the guy, and it's all over. It's
Yeah.
all over. But yeah, the Ethereals. You want to talk about the Ethereals, Cole?
Okay, this is a minor spoiler, since they're introduced fairly late in the game, but then again, it is very loosely plot-based. So, one of the things you encounter when you're out about roaming the Earth in search of aliens to kill is an alien known as an ethereal. They float, they have weird robes, and most importantly, they can mind control your soldiers every single time.
Every single time.
Every time.
Every time. It's horrible.
Yep. And then your soldiers might panic and kill the mind-controlled soldier.
Oh my god.
Which has happened to me so many times.
I like that one time where like who's like that one soldier you had that got mind controlled and your two guys panicked and killed him like
Yeah. They mind-controlled my favorite mech that I named Big Daddy. And then Private Jenkins, an expendable one, managed to kill him.
Jenkins.
It was horrible. I had to reload that mission.
We should touch on the willpower thing.
Yeah,
later.
we'll touch on the willpower.
But let's
thing
keep going with enemies. Berserkers, you hate them too.
Oh my god, dude. Just, on the harder difficulties, it's very annoying because Berserkers are like, if anyone's played Halo, they're pretty much like brutes, except they have like Wolverine claws that they hold that come out of their hands, and whenever you attack one, it beats its chest and roars, then just sprints towards the dude who shot them. And on the harder difficulties, 99.9% of the time, this causes that person to piss their pants.
Yeah. Meaning panic and basically have a mental breakdown in the middle of a firefight.
Which, by the way, that dialogue of like the person panicking is the most annoying thing ever.
And especially with like, oh, like one time, like a guy just moaned. He was like, and then it showed panic above his head. I was like, are you serious?
That's not the worst one. The one that I hate the most is the one where the dude goes, "I want to go home. I want to go home." All right, and then just either shoots or sprints away.
Yeah, or like the mommy, pew 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 pew. So irritating.
Yeah, and then they just sprint into the middle of the forest, and it's like they're standing unprotected out in the open. Of course, they're going to get killed next turn.
Because when I'm scared, I love just running into the middle of a battlefield and crouching.
Yes, yeah. Although, I will say, it was not as annoying as the, is this what aliens do for fun? At least they're not playing video games.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was...
Spoiler alert. You find out what aliens do for fun, and it's not video games. So if you... Yeah. What else? What was the third one you said you hated?
Chrysalids.
I do have one that probably tops all three of those.
Okay.
The Sectopod.
Yeah, the Sectopod is very annoying. But first, let me just explain why I hate the Chrysalids. It's because most enemies have a fairly short range of movement. Not so with the Chrysalids. They can move about 2 to 3 times. the area of your people. So if you discover one at the end of your turn, at least 2 of your people are going to die.
Pretty much, like, and there's no outrunning them.
Yeah.
Like, the only way for you to render them ineffective is either A, kill them, or B, only have shivs, which are basically little tiny droids that can either fly or not.
Shivs are amazing, like plasma shivs.
Plasma hover shivs.
Yeah.
Just game winner.
Yeah, game point match, set point match with tennis.
Tennis.
So why do you find the sectopods annoying, co-host?
There is not a single thing about them that is not irritating. So they have a gratuitous amount of health. Like, the maximum amount of health you could possibly achieve at about, like, 2 bars of that health, and your guys do half damage against them.
I will say, they really upped the difficulty on that, because in the first game, if you found one, you could usually destroy it within the turn that you found it, because your damage did what your damage said. And it's like, if I have a fusion launcher that does 12 damage, it's going to do 12 damage to the sector.
No, and that's irritating, because sometimes you discover one and then you're like, alright, I can take this, and you forget, because you're like, okay, well, I'll do 10 damage. You shoot it, and it only does 5, and then it kills you instantly.
Yeah.
And so it's got 3 different technical attacks, right? It's got so if you're running by, if you just move by it, it doesn't even have to be an Overwatch, which is something you can do.
Okay, Overwatch is essentially where you pick a soldier and you're like, yo, go in Overwatch. And anytime an enemy moves within his range, he just takes a reaction shot.
And usually they only take reaction shots if they have that, or a special perk.
Yes.
But the sectopods, no, they don't care.
They just do it all the time.
Yeah, but they only get, I think, 2 max per turn. So sometimes you get your, like, Private Jenkins here, and you kind of just send him into the fray, and then to move your other guys. But so while they're in there, they have, like, a little plasma minigun. Like, so when you're running, like, oh yeah, I got that. Okay, and it does a lot of damage. And then, okay, well, finally I moved past the minigun, now I'm in cover. Well, they have, the only way I can describe it is a rape cannon. I find no other way to describe it.
An accurate assessment.
It basically, it is a cannon that shoots giant orange beams of hatred and
with splash damage
and area, like, cover destruction.
Yeah.
So even if your guys, and they get to shoot 2 per turn, so like your guys take cover and you're like, alright, there's no way it can hurt me. Well, it's gonna shoot its beam and it's gonna hit your cover if it doesn't hit you, because the game just loves to throw random, oh, you got 1% chance to get hit, alright, you die. So now your cover's blown up and the second shot is pretty much gonna hit you. And then they have the third, and in my opinion, most horrifying attack ever, which is the mortars. Oh my god.
Okay, I'll admit, I was vastly innocent. Like, I was very ignorant of the mortars for the longest time, because the only time I found them were on ships. I only found them on ships, and so whenever they do that, the missiles would just fly up and hit the roof of the ship.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, what the hell is this doing? It doesn't even do anything.
Exactly.
And then it caught me in the open one time, and that was, yeah.
Oh, the worst thing ever. And they get to do that. They get to basically do 2 attacks per turn.
Yeah.
So, like, one time, I got 3 dudes and they're chilling, and they've all got rockets, and I just moved them all, and I'm like, alright, Sectopod's turn, and this is going to be my turn, and I'm going to all missile it. And he goes, shoots some mortars, it blows a hole in the roof. I'm like, that was stupid. And then he does another time. It kills all of them. They go into bleed out mode, and then it sets the ground on fire. So they just all go into bleed out mode and then burn to death.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I like had to restrain embedding my controller in the television.
Yeah, I will say this game is not for the faint of heart. This isn't a Skyrim that you can set on very easy and play through the game.
No, you can't casually play it either. Like, you can't, like, just go and be like, all right, I'm going to turn Call of Duty on, play a match before I, go to work or go to Cole's house. You gotta, like, sit down, get your beverage here, your chips down your lower left-hand corner, and then you gotta
blinders so that you're only focusing on the game.
Yeah, put some sheets over your windows so no one can stare at you.
Yeah.
I mean, to prevent the light from going through your windows and hitting your TV.
Exactly. Oh, the frustrations of that game.
Yeah, and we haven't even covered half of the enemies yet.
No. I would say that's less than half.
No.
Cyber discs are just as annoying because they explode when they die.
Really, early game, they're horrifying, but later, they're not that bad. They're just more of they still exist, and they're still annoying, but...
Seekers are terrifying the first time you see them, and then just very, very annoying afterwards.
Yeah, because later then you figure out, oh god, Seekers, which are basically giant flying squid that turn invisible and then reappear, and they just kind of latch onto your people.
And they tentacle rape you.
Basically. It's very scary.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
So basically, alright, so we're going to give you a helpful tip here that I discovered pretty much immediately. When you discover Seekers, don't move anybody. Just huddle them up, like assuming they're in a huddle. Move them if they're not in the huddle. Then just spam Overwatch until they appear, and you'll fix your problem. But it's horrible on like terrorist missions.
Oh, no.
Because then I gotta get that civvy. Oh god, but there's a Seeker, and then it just appears and kills him.
One of the significant changes between enemy unknown and enemy within being the better one, is in enemy within, something happens where you can lose the game if you don't do it right.
Oh, the base?
Yes,
right.
Yes. Something happens that involves your base, and if you screw it up, you lose.
You can probably infer from the small bit of context what it is, but we're not going to directly spoil it.
That would go under the spoilers section, which is a very small section for this game.
You're going to have a 5-minute section at the end for spoilers.
Yeah, I'm good. And I figure we can also just spoil random things as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So how about some? You want to talk about some
tech?
Yeah, I was gonna say some upgrades going.
Yeah, let's get some tech going on. What do you want to cover first? Weapons, armor, or the genetic stuff?
Let's start off easy. Weapons are pretty easy to talk about.
Weapons are very easy to talk about. In the beginning of the game, you have bullets. And
pretty sure everyone's familiar with bullets.
Yes.
We can move on.
Okay. From the bullets, you then get lasers, which are very satisfying.
Especially first playthrough. It's the first laser weapon, even if it's just a pistol, and they're showing him test it out. You're like, this feels right.
Yeah. Yeah, there are also really neat little cutscenes in the game. Like the first time you research a laser rifle, you get to see one of your scientists pick up a laser rifle and go walk down to target range, and then go and set a target on fire, and you're just like,
yeah. They do, but of course everything costs money. So if you want to put one gun on one soldier, you gotta pay for the gun and put him on the soldier, which it sounds bad, but at least it's one of those games where if the soldier dies, you get to keep the gun.
Yeah, assuming you win the mission. I never knew that you could fail a mission before Enemy Within. Yeah. Because in Enemy Within, in the first game, I played through it on normal difficulty, and then I'm on the last level on classic difficulty. In the second one, I was playing on classic difficulty, and I wasn't very far in the game. And I got to one of the very first terrorist missions, and I sent along a mech. And then a mech showed up and killed everyone on my squad, and I could not get past that point.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, but if I did get past that point and only one person survived, I would still get to keep all the other people's weapons and armor.
So back to the weapons.
Yes.
After that, you get plasma. I don't know the 100% scientificness of plasma.
Okay, I have an idea about plasma.
Oh, yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so plasma, the way that we can manipulate it now is by superheating it into a sort of liquid gas state. From there, it's highly magnetic. So my theory on how plasma guns would work is that using a series of super electromagnets and magnetic fields along with ion propulsion, you could essentially use magnets to magnetize the plasma together into a ball and keep it that way. But it would probably disperse the farther away you get, which is kind of why the plasma sniper rifle doesn't make too much sense. But it's
awesome. The greatest gun.
It is amazing, and you don't argue with it because science.
Yeah, the way they hold snipers in that game.
Yeah,
like I'm assuming everyone knows how to hold a gun. Well, they don't do that with snipers. Like I'm not going to describe it because it will sound stupid over just microphone.
It will.
How about the alloy cannon? Because that's technically the shotgun. Because it's technically, I don't even consider it a shotgun actually, because it only shoots one thing really.
I consider it like a railgun.
Yeah, but basically when you search, it's a separate category.
Yeah, it's a separate category.
But it's so good though.
It is amazing.
It's really good. It's basically the equivalent of the plasma shotgun, even though there's no plasma shotgun. And it doesn't shoot plasma.
No.
But it's a nice tier.
Yes. Now, the other significant change from, at least for me, in weaponry, from
without
the first, whatever.
Unknown.
Yeah, from unknown to within. In unknown, there were only two kinds of grenades. Frag grenade and alien grenade.
That would suck because I never played enemy with enemy unknown.
Yeah.
So there's like a plethora of grenades, and
you got like gas grenades and invisible grenades,
or the needle grenades, like the noob grenade. That's what I call them.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, and I gotta say, gas grenades pointless.
Cloak? What are they called? Are they called cloak grenades?
Cloaking grenades are amazing.
Not pointless.
Those are amazing. Like, essentially, you throw it at someone and it turns them invisible.
Yeah.
No idea how that would work.
Yeah, no. But it's very helpful if, like, you send a guy scouting and he discovers a sectopod, and then you're like, oh god, and then you got a guy behind him who's like, I got you, man, and just throws a grenade at him and it turns him invisible. Yeah. Very helpful.
Very, very helpful.
Is that your favorite kind of grenade?
Sure.
Oh, they're called ghost grenades. Ghost grenades.
Yeah, ghost grenade, yes.
Mine's either that one or the noob grenade.
Yeah.
Just because it's got such a wide area of effect.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the needle grenade, like... throw it in a room and the whole room just gets hit with little like 2 damage.
It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah. And then
let's go to armors.
Armors. There's also a plethora of armors.
Yes, you've got from the humble beginnings of Kevlar to the carapace armor to the skeleton suit to the titan armor to the archangel armor to the ghost armor to the psionic armor.
Yes.
And I don't think there's anything else after that. No.
Did you get to this Titan armor? Okay.
Yeah. Titan armor, ghost armor are the best.
Depends.
No, wait, Archangel. Sorry. Titan and Archangel.
Titan and Archangel, or if you have someone with like 100% willpower, Psi. Yeah. As long as they have psionics.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's so basically Titan armor is the Juggernaut suit. Archangel armor,
you get to fly.
Got a jetpack, and you can research what's called advanced flight, which is very originally named, and lets you fly twice as long.
Yes, it is. It is pretty overpowered, especially on a sniper, because you can just fly. Boba Fett. You can just. I have a sniper in my game called Boba Fett, and he wears green armor and almost has the exact same helmet.
Yeah.
And he has Archangel armor, so anytime I ever start a mission, I just fly him straight up into the air, and he has a perk that allows him to see whatever his squad mates can see, as long as there's like a clear view and there's nothing in his path.
Yeah, like...
It's just like... me mimicking like auto-aiming, like kills skills.
Really good.
Yeah.
And then... Psi armor. Basically, you take a psionic person, and you give them the Psi armor, and it makes everything they do psionically, right?
Better.
Is that a word? Better, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, better. Like their mind, like little mind ray, is like 100% accurate. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then there's the skeleton, or I think it's called. Is it skeleton?
Skeleton. Skeleton is one with grappling hook.
Yeah, basically.
Which is pretty useful, actually.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of a buff, but not much. It's mainly just the grappling hook, which until you research some genetics...
It gives you a ton of defense, actually. Which is really useful.
Yeah. And there's the carapace?
Yeah. And essentially that's just like normal Kevlar except stronger.
Yeah, I like the way it looks though, because it looks pretty sweet.
It looks pretty boss.
Yeah,
it looks pretty boss.
And then finally, we've been working backwards. Actually, we hit the standard Kevlar armor.
Yeah.
Which is
flimsy.
Yeah.
In a word.
Yeah.
Very flimsy. Yeah. Gotta love those first missions where an alien can single kill you.
One of the little sectoid aliens, the GIMP aliens.
It's like, you're like an ET, like a menacing ET.
Have you ever played? If anybody has ever played the game Destroy All Humans 1 or 2,
yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure Crypto is a sectoid commander.
Yeah. So that would be all the armor and stuff. We gotta talk about the Firestorm, and we gotta talk about the Shiv. Well, let's not talk about the Firestorm. Omit that. Let's just talk about the Shiv.
The Shiv is what it's pretty sweet, man. You start off, and the engineer guy's like, dude, we should build a Shiv. And you're like, build a Shiv, man. And it's basically a mini robot tank.
Yes.
Then
Do you know what it stands for?
Super innovative.
Missed an H.
What's it stand for, Cole?
I'm fairly certain it stands for I just had it.
Super hella innovative.
It's heavy infantry platform. It's something heavy infantry.
Squad heavy infantry platform?
No. Anyway, something cool, and it's in the acronym spells SHIV, which is just fun to say. Like, I'm gonna shiv you.
You can get two, I guess.
Three types of shivs.
Okay, well, there's 3 types of shiv. There's just the shiv, which is what we just said, and then there's alloy shiv. Cole, what's the alloy shiv?
Alloy shiv is one of my favorites because it's like the regular shiv except just bigger and bulkier with armor, and you can use it as cover, which is amazing.
Yeah, if you're gonna use alloy shivs, I recommend having 2 so you can like line them up and move your guy from shiv to shiv.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty effective.
Yeah. You want to cover hover shivs too, which are
I've done entire missions just using hover shivs, fully upgraded. Hover shivs are regular shivs, except they can fly and use alien technology and are better in every single way imaginable.
Yeah, pretty much. And you can get 2 weapon upgrades for them, which basically gives them either laser guns or plasma guns.
Go with the plasma.
Yeah.
Go with the plasma.
I don't think it lets you go back to laser if you pick plasma.
No, it does not. So, I would give this game, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 8.5, maybe 9.
I would give it an 8.5, not a 9, simply because of glitches. There are a couple, and it's not that they happen often, but when they do, usually they just ruin everything.
Yes, and my point deductions are not because of anything bad. It looks pretty good.
For what it is, it looks really good.
For what it is, it's really good. And everything about it is just incredibly in-depth and amazing.
There's not really anything where you were like, I would have done that better.
I take away the 1.5 points simply because of the fact that when Boba Fett is flying, has a bead on an alien, has a 99% chance to hit, he gets the 1% chance and misses.
Yeah, alright, yeah. Basically, whenever you're going to go shoot someone, it's like, you have this much % of hitting them. You can usually deduct about 30% of what it says. So if you have a 30% chance of hitting someone, you might as well just move into cover.
Yeah. Or it could just be like, sometimes the game's just like, screw it, you hit them. I once had a 5% chance of hitting someone, and I hit them, and I killed them, and it didn't make me happy. It just made me angry.
Yeah, it's like, so when I have a 99% chance, and I'm like, I'll take the shot. I missed by a mile, and then I have like a 1% chance, and hit him in the head and kill him.
Yeah. It's,
Anyways, so it's not gameplay. It's just general frustrations you'll have.
Yes. But overall, very good game. And now we're going to have a brief spoiler section. And
just spoil anything.
So
Firestorm.
Spoilers ahead. 1, 2, 3, go. There's a ship called the Firestorm that uses alien technology.
Alright, well, that's pretty much the only spoiler I had.
Okay.
Keep going up, I'll love you.
At the end of the game, the aliens let you know that the only reason they're invading is so that you can replace them. In Mass Effect 2, there's a very large probability that Mordin will die. In Lost, they go back to the island.
In Thief, you steal things.
In Star Wars Battlefront 2, Galactic Conquest, you get to kill Ewoks.
Star Wars Battlefront 2, Rebels are greater than Galactic Empire.
Bioshock Infinite, you kill something very important to the main character.
You don't die at the end.
Halo 4, Jewel Mandama lives and Catherine Halsey goes turncoat.
I do not know what that means. Flappy Bird, spoiler, there is no ending.